Brasilingos! Have you ever seen two words in English side by side that are opposites and seem to contradict each other? These are called oxymorons. Oxymorons are word phrases containing two opposite words that when put together make sense and have a specific meaning. Today we are going to take a look at several different oxymorons in English that you may not be familiar with. But before we get started, if you find that you have a hard time studying English or Portuguese, make sure you go over to my website, brasilingo.com, and download a free copy of my ebook, 10 Tips for Mastering Any Language. It will help you to make your study time more efficient. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Oxymoron is fast asleep. Fast asleep. How can you be going fast if you're sleeping? Well, fast asleep means that you are sleeping deeply. Sleeping deeply, in a deep sleep. We also use the term sound asleep. Sound asleep, which means the same as fast asleep. You could say, the baby is fast asleep in her crib. The second oxymoron is bittersweet. Bittersweet. These are opposites. How can something be sweet if it's bitter? Well, we use the term bittersweet to talk about memories or moments that have some aspect that makes us happy but also carries some pain. So, for instance, we use the term bittersweet a lot when we're talking about somebody who died. Thinking back on the memories of a loved one who passed away can be bittersweet. It's painful because you miss them, but it's sweet to think about the good times that you had. You can also use this term referring to parents sending their children off to college or watching them get married. Those times that you feel a little sad, but you're so proud of them and so happy for the success that they're having. Those are the bittersweet moments in life. Next, we have crash landing. Crash landing. So a crash is when a vehicle has a disastrous accident, okay? It's destructive, it's harmful. The cars crashed, the airplane crashed, the bike crashed into a tree. Landing, on the other hand, gives the sense of security, safety, and success. The airplane landed in the terminal at its correct time. So when we say a crash landing, we're somewhere in the middle. It's an emergency landing. So it's not an accident and it's not a successful ideal landing. It's an emergency landing. The plane is going down, it has to land, and it's not going to be able to be in the proper way, but they're doing their best to land and survive, pretty much. The pilot had no choice but to perform a crash landing. Moving on to our next oxymoron, a deafening silence. A deafening silence. So deafening is a word that means something is so loud you feel like you're going to lose your hearing. Silence is the absence of sound. So how could you possibly have a deafening silence? This is really a mental picture of a silence that is so intense you can feel it. You feel it inside. It's really used with situations that are tense or awkward. Think of two people who are fighting and not speaking to each other. You could say, there is a deafening silence inside that house. The silence is deafening. Our next oxymoron is the living dead. The living dead. So you can't be living and dead. There's no in between. But we use this term to refer to zombies, the fictional characters zombies. The world was taken over by the living dead. Our next oxymoron is yummy. The word is jumbo shrimp. Jumbo shrimp. So the reason this one is an oxymoron is because the adjective jumbo refers to something that is large, very large, and shrimp are small, very small. Sometimes we use the word shrimp to refer to people. She's a shrimp. If you say she's a shrimp, it means she's very small. When we say jumbo shrimp, we are referring to the size of the shrimp. So when you buy shrimp, they come in different sizes. They're small, medium, large, extra large, jumbo, and then even colossal. It's all based on perspective though, because even the colossal shrimp, they're colossal compared to the small shrimp, but if you compare it to a lobster, even the jumbo shrimp is small. I'll have an order of the jumbo shrimp, please. Old news. You watch the news, you tell somebody some news, you read the newspaper. News is usually new information. However, when we're talking about old news, it means something that you already knew about. Somebody comes up to you, oh my gosh, did you know she's pregnant? Oh yeah, everybody already knows that. That's old news. It means that it is not new information, at least not to you. Original copy. If something is original, it means it's the first one, the only one, or the genuine, authentic one. If something is a copy, it means it is a duplication. We use the term original copy to mean something that has been duplicated, copies have been made, but we want to talk about the original one, the genuine first one. Wow, the pawn shop was selling an original copy of Romeo and Juliet. Wow, that must be expensive. We will need the original copy of your birth certificate in order to process your passport. Pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. Well, those two words couldn't be any more opposite, right? Pretty means attractive, ugly means unattractive. Pretty as an adjective actually means attractive. When we use pretty as an adverb to modify a verb, adjective, or other adverb, it changes meaning completely and it means quite or rather. So if you say that something or somebody is pretty ugly, it means they are quite ugly. You can use this with tons of other adjectives too. That's pretty small. That's pretty big. Anything. Random order. Random order. If something is random, it means it's all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just there. If something has order, it means that there is a method, a process to it. Please stand in alphabetical order. That was a random thought. However, when we put the two words together, random is describing the noun order. So a random order really just means random. Marcia arranged the flowers in a random order. That means there was no thought process behind it, no rhyme or reason to the way she arranged them. You are seriously funny, my friend. Seriously funny. Well, okay, serious is the opposite of funny, but it's similar to pretty ugly. When you put serious as an adverb, it becomes seriously, and then it means really, really funny. You are really funny, my friend. Or that meme is seriously funny. You should check it out. Awfully good. Awfully good. If something is awful, that means that it is not good. It's really bad, right? But again, like with our last example and our pretty ugly example, when you make it into an adverb, it changes the meaning. So awfully means really, the same as seriously. We do this a lot with negative adjectives. We turn them into adverbs that all of a sudden give emphasis to something positive. So we also do it with the word terrible. We'll say terribly good, terribly good, awfully good. It means it's really good. I can't believe that flights are selling for $20 right now. That's an awfully good deal. Blacklight. Well, black is the absence of light, so how does that work? Well, Blacklight is a specific type of light that emits UVA rays. It picks up on fluorescence. So you know what I'm talking about. You turn off the lights, you turn on the blacklight, and everything's purple. And if you're wearing white, it's going to glow in the dark very brightly. It's going to pick up on things that have fluorescence in them, like stains. So guys, friendly piece of advice, do not use a blacklight in a hotel room. Just saying. The investigators brought in a blacklight to the crime scene to see if they could find any evidence. Happy accident. Accidents are not typically happy. Usually it's a bad thing if you have an accident, but a happy accident refers to serendipity. Something good happening by chance. You weren't planning for it, it was unintentional, it just happened. Serendipity, a happy accident. Running into my biological mother after all these years was such a happy accident. Act naturally. Act naturally. Well, acting is pretending to do something or pretending to be somebody that you're not. So how can you act naturally? Because natural is your current state, your true state. English speakers will typically tell somebody to act naturally when they've told them something that could change their expression or the way that they behave, but they don't want somebody else to know about it. So if you're throwing a surprise birthday party, or you told somebody that your friend has plans to propose to his fiance, and then all of a sudden he comes in the room, act naturally, okay? Be yourself. Don't act any different. Act like nothing happened. Act naturally. Dry rain. Have you heard of it? Have you seen it? Well, how can this be? Are you scratching your head? Dry rain? Rain is wet. How could it possibly be dry? Well, dry rain is a weather phenomenon when the rain evaporates before it hits the ground. By the way, there's a movie called Dry Rain. I've personally never seen it, but if you're interested, you could check it out. No way! I've never seen dry rain before. Our last oxymoron today is mercy killing. Mercy killing. Well, mercy is sparing somebody from a consequence or death, something bad from happening, even if they deserve it. The oxymoron mercy killing is used when someone is suffering and somebody else puts them out of their misery. It's not done out of anger or ill will, but to help the person. It's a mercy killing. In medical terms, this is called euthanasia. Most of the time, the person has asked for this. This is not something that was done against them without their permission. When we're referring to animals, we use the term put down, to put down. Last week, we had to put our dog down because the cancer had spread and she was in a lot of pain. Well, we just went over 17 oxymorons. Wow, did you learn something new? Did you like it? If you did, make sure you subscribe to this channel and tag a friend down below who you think would really like to learn these oxymorons too. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! And don't forget to get your free ebook if you haven't already. 10 tips for mastering any language. I also have the version available in Portuguese. 10 dicas para dominar qualquer idioma. Até o próximo. Tchau!